Gino Pettis Adventures. I'm still Gino, still my adventures. And I have a long one for you today. Tomorrow's the 1st of December, I think, 2023. The high tomorrow is 78. The low tomorrow is 68, 67 maybe. And sun shining, no rain, no snow in the forecast, no wind in the forecast. So there you are. You're sitting in front of your computer in Detroit or Chicago or North Dakota or Seattle or New York or even Miami. And you're probably freezing your butt. And you're wondering, how come the heat's so high? How come my rent's so high? How come I don't like it here? Well, the problem is that 87% of you guys are guys, few 5% are women, and you are from 54 to as old as dirt. And there you are. If you're watching this, if you're binge watching these videos, it's because you're looking for an answer, I would believe. But I think the problem is that you don't know how to act on what you need to do. You need a guideline on how to change what you're doing. If nothing changes, nothing changes. I mean, I say that all the time. This is the first day of the rest of your life. And if you don't change something, look at your around today. And 5 years from now, it's going to be exactly the same, except for more expensive yet. So here's the deal. There are about, there might be one or two more or less, 4 ways to get to Colombia. Number one is the one that keeps you guys from ever coming to Colombia. You don't know what you need. You don't know where to land. You don't know who to get help from. And you're not real sure on how to do it by yourself. There's a few of you that can do all that stuff and actually show up. There's a lot more of you that don't know that you need a MIG. What's a MIG? Well, it's an immigration form that you need to get in the country. You got to have your passport. You have to fly. You have to have an international flight to Colombia. But then, where are you going to come in Colombia? You're going to go to Bogota, Medellin, Cali, Barranquilla, Santa Marta. You're going to binge watch on here all of the crime that's happening in Medellin and Bogota, and you guys will never come. Never. But that's the same as if you binge watched all of the crime that's happening in Chicago, New York, LA, Dallas, Philadelphia, Miami. Would you ever go to those places? Well, if you do, would you know how not to get killed? Well, yeah, you would. Well, I know it's getting a little long, but I had to throw this in the middle. Please sure, and if you like what you're hearing, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell. It helps me, helps the algorithm, and I can put more of these out if you keep subscribing and liking. Thanks. Continue with the video. So the whole point is, you're probably going to need some help. If you're really, I mean, if you're tired of being cold and sick and tired and spending all your money and not having enough, having more month than you have money, Colombia is a great alternative. And you don't have to listen to how many gringos have been killed in Medellin. How many tourists have they killed in Chicago? It's the same deal. You can't go to a bar, leave a bar at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning with two Venezuelan hookers and expect to be alive the next day. You know, you're just the same thing as if you go to a bar in Chicago on the Miracle Mile and leave with two American hookers at 4 in the morning. The odds are worse that you're not going to be alive the next day than you're going to be alive. So, give it a break. There are places like where I live. I live outside of a little town called San Gil, which is not far from the 5th largest city in Colombia, which is Bucaramanga. And so we've figured out that number one way to get here is probably not the way to go. The number two way to get here is call a friend. Ask Gino. Call me on the phone. 505-501-8889. 505-501-8889. It's a free call, okay? And then I'll figure out if I can help you. If you do decide to come down, I can tell you exactly what you need. I can tell you where to get the best prices for your airfare. I can tell you what is required clothing-wise, what kind of money do you need to get, and what kind of money do you need to bring, how you need to get money when you get here. Are you coming just for a vacation? Is it a fact-finding tour? What are you doing? I can give you all of that information. I can pick you up at the airport in Bucaramanga. I can bring you to San Gil, which is 60,000 people in San Gil, nice small town, and show you around the sights and sounds. Pick you up, deliver you here, put you in a hotel that you will love. You can stay a week, you can stay a month, you can stay 6 months, whatever you want to stay, but you have a friend. And no, it's not free. But it'll be correct information in your best interest. So I'll pick you up at the airport, bring you. If you want to use me as a tour guide, fine. If you don't want to use me as a tour guide, that's also fine. You can wander around and do whatever you want to do. There's public transportation everywhere. I would not recommend renting an automobile unless you are a licensed Formula One race car driver. Anyway, so that's the number one method and the least expensive that I do. Number two is what I like to call the Freedom Tour. And the Freedom Tour, you can come for 1 week or you can come for 2 weeks. And what we do on the Freedom Tour is you buy your own airfare, but I pick you up at the airport. And for the next 7 days, everything is paid for. Your room is paid for, your meals are paid for. I don't buy your alcohol. You're going to have to buy your own alcohol. You have tours daily. We go to places of interest daily. We go to different villages daily. We go to whatever you want to see daily. And if you don't want to do it daily, you don't have to do it daily. But I can have 7 days planned out for you. Or I can have 14 days planned out for you. You with me on that? Okay. And yeah, there's a cost, but it's, I think the loneliest feeling I ever had and the most scared I ever was is I got off the airplane in Belize, Central America, in 1979. And I'd flown from Albuquerque to Belize. I got on the airplane at 7 in the morning, got off the airplane at 7 in the evening in Belize. It's 14 miles to Belize City, and I'm standing on the curb with my 2 bags in my hand going, what the hell did I just do? And where and how do I get out of here? It was pretty scary. If I'd had somebody picking me up at the airport, it would have been a different story, but they didn't. Anyway, so that's what that's all about. The tour will keep you safe, will keep you busy, will give you a busman's look at rural Colombia. It's not Medellin. It is not Cali. It is none of that. There's no disco. Well, there may be a disco bar or something, but I don't know where it is. And furthermore, I'm not going to try to find out where it is because that's just not my thing. So the thing is, I can bring you here on a wholesome, nice, beautiful 7 or 14-day trip. You choose, okay? And then here's the one. I spoke to this gentleman the other day and he says, you know, Gino, the problem is these guys don't know how to get there, or they don't know what to do when they get there, and they just don't understand the whole deal, but they'd like to get there because they don't have a lot of money and they're freezing their butt and inflation is kicking their butt. We have inflation here too, don't get me wrong. And for example, today the dollar's down a little, so we don't get to buy as many pesos as we usually do, and it'll stretch you a little, but we're not talking about 50 cents. Anyway, I mean, if you look at the video I just put up on a house here in town is $187 a month. Cost you another $50 a month for utilities. So you're all in for $230, $240 a month. Rent, the whole enchilada, a house, not a tent in downtown Seattle. So what the 1 or 2 week does is give you a pretty good idea of whether you like the area or don't, if you like the people or don't, or if you like the way of life here or don't, or in between, or you want to do more research. But after 2 weeks, I'll guarantee you that you will come away with a feeling about this place, either good or bad. And it could go both ways. I've had gentlemen come down here, going to stay for a week or two, and after 3 or 4 days, they were just overwhelmed with the boredom, because it's mellow here. It is chill. It is laid back, and the only thing that's nuts around here is the traffic, and you don't have to get in it. So, number 1, I pick you up at the airport, etc. Number 2, the same thing. It's a tour. I pick you up and deliver you back to the airport, bring you to a hotel in town, and we have daily stuff for a week or 2, depending on what you want. And so all you have to do is look in the description. Call me and we'll go over them. And I saved the best one for last. What would happen if all you had to do was get your passport, pack your bags, and get your butt to the airport, and everything else was taken care of? Your transportation, maybe even to the airport, but probably not. You're arriving at the airport, the rest of it I've taken care of. You have your airplane flight, you have what you need to get on your airplane, you have your MiG, you have your travel plans of where you're going to fly to, when I'm going to pick you up. I pick you up, I bring you to a hotel, and by the way, all of this is paid for. I mean, obviously you're going to pay for it, but I'm doing all the legwork. Pick you up at the airport and bring you and install you in a house or an apartment for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, up to 6 months, whatever you would like. And I will ding dong guarantee you after that, you will sure know if this is the place you want to spend your retirement and the rest of your life or not. Because I would imagine that after 30 days, but some people are hard heads and it might take them 90, and that's still all within the tourist visa. And you can figure out what kind of visa you need, you can figure out where you want to stay, where you want to live. all sorts of things you can do when you have a home base of a month or 2 or 3. And that's exactly what Bill and Kat did from Alaska. They came, stayed in Sangil for about 3 months, and they toured everywhere. They went all over Colombia. And then they went all over, and then they left here and went all over Ecuador. And when they were in Ecuador, Kat found a house that she just couldn't live without, and she bought it. And so that's where they are now. But this place gave them a base of operation, headquarters while you're checking everything out. So those are the 4 ways I see to get you to Colombia safely with no pain. Well, the first one obviously is going to be really difficult because you're just going to buy a ticket, jump on a plane, hit Medellin and go to where all the gringos are. And where all the gringos are, if you were if you wanted to hunt elephants, where would you go? Go to where all the elephants were, right? So if you were a thief in Medellin, where would you go? You'd go to where all the tourists are, right? So that's what you get. That's why you get so many people getting robbed in Medellin and Bogota, because they're all hanging out with tourists. Okay, we don't have any tourists here, to speak of. I'm the only gringo in town. Yep, me. I'm the only gringo in town. So that's not a really good option. But the number 1 is where I pick you up at the airport, bring you, put you in, get you safe and sound in a hotel, and then you do whatever you want, or you can do it with me or without, whatever. It's a good option. Number 2, the paid for tour of 1 week or 2 weeks is also a good option, because then you have a schedule of what you're going to do all the time. And then the real kicker, a month, 2 months, 3 months, up to 6 months on your tourist visa, and you will know the country, you will know the area, you will know how to get around, and you will know, as if Gino's not around, will I really like this or not? Well, you're going to find out in that period of time, and that's a wonderful option too. So, all that being said, it is the first day of the rest of your life. And if nothing changes, nothing changes. If you don't like where you're sitting, do something about it. Get your butt off the couch. And I'm going to have some more videos pretty soon on what you can do to make enough money in the States before you come to where you don't have to worry about it here. Throw a few of those in. Throw a few more tour destinations in. But don't forget, like, subscribe, hit the notification bell, and stay safe. And call me, man. It's a free call. And we'll take it from there. So, God bless you. Hit the like, subscribe, notification bell, share it with a friend. You may have a dad that needs someplace to go, or a mom. We're all about that. I'm 73 freaking years old. I know what they need. I know what I need. So, God bless you. And we'll see you on the flip side.